sure I'm that tall. Okay. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. I draw your attention to the back side of the orders of service for announcements and service information for next week. For those on the live stream and for video viewers, the order of service link is available to you in the YouTube service description box. For today's marchers, there is a new gathering place, 11:30 a.m. on Summerfield Avenue between Bond and Emory. E-M-O-R-Y. If you are new to us, please do visit us on our website, uucmc.org, where you can sign up to get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We look forward to getting to know you better. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Craig Rubano. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And we got up earlier than usual this morning for a very good reason. Because in this congregation, we value each and every one of us for who we are, not despite who we are, but because of it. And we know that that's not true everywhere in this world, or in this country, or even in this county. There are places right here in Middletown Township where people are not listening with conviction to the words going through our heads as Louise played just now. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. Your true colors are beautiful, like the rainbow. So we got up early because a bunch of us is going to drive over to Asbury Park and show our true colors and declare with our actions and our posters made lovingly by our young people that the words we say at the top of every service are not lip service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our theme for the month is renewal. And when I heard the word in the context of the 33rd annual Asbury Park LGBTQ plus Pride Parade and Festival, I thought to myself, what would be more renewing than being able to be oneself in all one's true colors and be celebrated for it? So let's get started being ourselves in all of our authenticities by hearing our call to worship, with worship understood in its original meaning of a shaping concern for everything that is of worth. And I promise that includes you and me. These words from the Reverend Hannah Roberts Villeneuve, minister of the UU Church of Cheyenne, Wyoming. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist? Dance as we demand change. Celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are. So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter. Bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks. Bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit, tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here, to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. Each week we light a flame and a chalice to symbolize the sacred space we create by the act of our gathering. There's nothing sacred about this beautiful earth room sanctuary in itself. It glows with the brightness of the many mornings we have come together to be ourselves as a community. I invite UUCMC's lead childcare provider, Emma Farkas, to light our chalice flame this morning. The settled minister of the Kingston Unitarian Fellowship in Kingston, Ontario, the Reverend Rebecca C. Coppola, wrote these words of preparation for openness, entitled Letting Go of Certainty, with the subtitle, On the Renewal of the Self by Letting Go of Expectation and Judgment. So breathe with me, and you can breathe with me there too. Thank you, Emma. Let go of the idea that you know what breathing should feel like. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Let go of certainty. Be with the breath as it is. Allow openness. Allow curiosity. Notice the mind, each thought that arises. Allow openness. Don't judge your mind or your experience. Be loving in your curiosity about each thought. Let go of certainty. Let go of any idea about what you should be thinking, accepting your thoughts exactly as they are. Be yourself as you are. Be curious about who you are. Love how you are in the world. Gently take a deep breath. Maybe even a big sigh. Re-enter the present moment and the stream of your life. And now I invite us to rise in body and or spirit and sing hymn number 323 in our gray hymnals and on the screens. Break not the circle of enabling love.
Good morning. So, story wisdom time, a good time, a very good time. And we're going to be watching a rendition of a storybook, a picture book. And I just want to mention that picture books are very powerful. They are, if you would, like a lasagna. Lots and lots of layers. You can read it with a young, impressionable mind and notice certain things, or you can read it with a more wizened mind and learn even more. Today, we are going to listen to a story called Red, a Crayon's Story. Yep, a crayon. It could be subtitled An Identity Crisis. So that would be for the wizened minds to figure out, okay? It's the story of Red, a crayon who is mislabeled and misunderstood, and it revolves around Red's journey of self-discovery. What a good idea for today. Wow, you're smart. He's blinking at me. I don't know what that means. This goes under the category of there's nothing that can't be taught with a good picture book. So enjoy. Do I do things?
Red, a Crayon Story by Michael Hall, is a story about identity, about being true to your inner self and following your own path despite obstacles that may come your way. He was Red, but he wasn't very good at it.
Oh dear!
His teachers thought he needed more practice.
I'll draw a red strawberry, Then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really.
But he couldn't, really.
Like this?
Oh my. Let's try again.
His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors.
Why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange?
A really big one.
A really orange one.
But they made a big greenish one.
Yuck.
Oops.
His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough.
Your class is making self-portraits for Parents' Night. Wear this warm red scarf.
Nice. It's so you.
But it so wasn't.
Oh, dear me.
Sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all.
Don't be silly. It says red on his label.
He came that way from the factory.
Frankly, I don't think he's very bright.
Well, I think he's lazy.
Right, he's gotta press harder.
Really apply himself.
Give him time, he'll catch on.
Of course he will.
But he didn't catch on.
Green frog.
Black sheep.
Brown cow.
Red. Ack!
The masking tape thought he was broken inside.
This will help hold you together.
The scissors thought his label was too tight.
One snip should do it.
I thought he wasn't sharp enough. Stay still now. But even with all our help and all his hard work, he just couldn't get the hang of it. One day, he met a new friend.
Will you make a blue ocean for my boat?
I can't. I'm red.
Will you try?
So he did.
Thank you. It's perfect.
You're welcome. It was easy.
And he didn't stop there.
Blue jeans, bluebells, bluebird, blueberries, blue whale. I'm blue.
He was blue, and everyone was talking.
My son is brilliant.
Who could have known he was blue?
I always said he was blue.
It was obvious.
His blue ocean really lifted me.
All of his work makes me happy.
His blue strawberries are my favorites.
He's so intense.
I'm going to make a green lizard with him, a really big one.
I heard he's working on a huge new project.
He's really reaching for the sky.
And he really was. Let this story be a reminder of how important it is to look beyond the labels that we put on ourselves and on each other. The end.
See? Right? I think so. There's a lot to learn. I shall end my, I don't know what it is, this part, remarks. I was going to say something more aggressive, but my harangue, I will end my harangue with a quote from Oscar Wilde, who said, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." And with that, I would love to take my children in peace as we go.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our social justice partners through the good works of organizations which receive half of the monies collected each month. Our Share the Plate recipient for June is Covenant House of Asbury Park, whose mission is to give youth 18 to 21 years of age an alternative to guns, gangs, and drugs. Covenant House is a powerful human rights movement for homeless and trafficked youth in cities across 6 countries and has rescued many youth from the streets of Asbury Park. Covenant House is building a supportive community while helping these young people to rebuild their lives. And I'm just going to insert an anecdote from my own personal experience that when I commuted decades into New York City for work, I would come out of the Port Authority or I would come out of the train station, but Covenant House was closest to the Port Authority. You would see so many kids on the street in both places. It was really upsetting, but every now and then you'd catch an eye or they'd catch yours and they'd ask you where Covenant House was. They fortunately knew about it and they were trying to get to it, and I walked a few kids up in that direction quite a few times. So I think it's a miracle, it's a mission, and I urge you to support it any way you can. It's a blessing. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by the ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, send your offerings by mail, or charge your contribution online with a memo designating an amount to Covenant House. Please give generously.
Perhaps you know the story of the great Hasidic Rabbi Zuzha of Hanopol in what is now Poland. On his deathbed, Rabbi Zuzha began to cry uncontrollably, and his students and disciples struggled to console him. They asked him, "Rabbi, why do you weep? You are almost as wise as Moses. You are almost as hospitable as Abraham. Surely heaven will judge you favorably." Rabbi Zuzha answered them, "It is true. When I get to heaven, I won't worry so much if God asks me, 'Zuzha, why were you not more like Abraham?' Or 'Zuzha, why were you not more like Moses?' I know I would be able to answer these questions. In fact, I was not given the righteousness of Abraham or the faith of Moses, but I tried to be both hospitable and thoughtful. But what will I say when God asks me, Zuzia, why were you not more like Zuzia? Why were you not more like Zuzia? Why were you not more like the unique person in all of human history that you were destined to be? Social work research professor Brené Brown had dedicated her career to studying difficult emotions like shame and fear, collecting thousands of stories from a diverse swath of humanity, and assessing the patterns, the reoccurring themes in those persons who, in the face of the daily stresses of work, family, and social pressures, embodied a resilience and an inner joy, who found a way to live what she began to call wholeheartedly, who were able to live wholly and authentically as themselves. She had started to make 2 lists under provisional headings of do and don't to capture what she was seeing and hearing as present and absent in the lives of those resilient persons in her studies, when she was startled from her usual researcherly distance. For she had thought wholehearted lives would be akin to her own, characterized by hard work, following the rules, raising kids by the books, always seeking improvement, doing until gotten right. And under the do column, she did gather things she knew herself to value: worthiness, rest, play, trust, faith, intuition, hope, authenticity, love, belonging, joy, gratitude, creativity. But then she looked at what she'd gathered under the don't column, those things wholehearted people knew got in the way of resilient living, and she realized how much of her own life fit under its thematic contours: perfection, numbing, certainty, exhaustion, self-sufficiency, being cool, fitting in, judgment, and scarcity. All Brown's years of scientifically accumulating knowledge seemed to dissolve under a simple truth she was astonished to find astonished her. To live wholeheartedly, to live with an acquired resilience to shame and fear, to live authentically, required that she first love herself in all of her wholeness. It required that she courageously desist from pleasing, performing, and perfecting, that she compassionately embrace her own vulnerability, and that she spend much more time owning her messy, imperfect, but unique story in connection with others. She hadn't realized how much courage it actually took to be one's self completely. To know all of what Brown means by courage, we have to look beyond the connotations the word has for many of heroic deeds of daring. For at the root of courage is cor, C-O-R, Latin for heart. So the irony of putting courage into play is that it requires not putting on a shield of protective armor, but instead speaking openly and honestly about who we are, what and how we feel, and the experiences we have, as much of them as we can. Courage requires giving up control in the service of authenticity. Without courage, we can never really be known, never be loved unconditionally. Courage is not for the faint of heart, it is for the full of heart. Wholehearted living demands that we take risks in order to connect with other authentic selves. Brown defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Connection is not a luxury item. Lives depend on it. Our interconnections not only help us stay healthier, they contribute to our longevity and our access to joy. And absent them, we can become bowed down by stress, by a sense of our incompleteness, our imperfection. The poet David Whyte, whose work many of you know, W-H-Y-T-E. David Whyte had reached a place in his life when he says, I was working at a nonprofit organization, trying to fix the world, and finding that the world didn't want to be fixed as quickly as I'd like. And I found myself exhausted, stressed, and finally, after one particularly hard day, at the end of my tether. He was expecting a guest with whom he liked to read German poetry, his friend, Benedictine monk, Brother David Steindl-Rast. As they read together that evening, enjoying a bottle of red wine, Whyte suddenly realized that his mind was still on his work and on what he calls the mind-numbing tiredness he was experiencing. Suddenly he asked of his friend, Brother David, speak to me of exhaustion. Tell me about exhaustion. And then Steindl-Rast said an unexpected thing. You know, he said, the antidote to exhaustion is not necessarily rest. The antidote to exhaustion is wholeheartedness. You're so exhausted because you can't be wholehearted at what you're doing. The evening changed Whyte's life and led him to devote his life to what he could do wholeheartedly, write poetry, and teach others to live authentic lives. Here at UUCMC, it is our mission to enable each one of us to be us, fully us, each in our wholeness. Whoever we are, whomever we love, however it is we arrived here. We say those words of welcome every week, but during Pride Month, they gather extra meaning. Especially in a political climate where persons with LGBTQ plus identities once again are targets for hate. When many municipalities and states are doing what they can to inflame a voter base by passing baseless, needless, and harmful laws, taking away health care from transgender youth, banning drag performances, allowing religious groups to discriminate against LGBTQ plus individuals, making transgender students less safe in their school environments, and even banning from school libraries books that depict whole LGBTQ plus lives. At UUCMC, we celebrate our differences. We strive to know one another better in our fullness. That this seems like basic human kindness only shows how far away from such mutual consideration many places in our country have strayed, often perversely in the name of religions that urge just the opposite upon their followers. It is a tragedy that religiosities proclaiming love as their central tenet can simultaneously turn their backs on persons loving one another, on persons loving themselves. My call to ministry emerged from entering into a new openness, a new vulnerability, a new willingness to be my full self. I know it now more deeply, in more ways. And it's true for you too, that if we can embrace the courage to tell our own stories, and to stay in connection with a community of care, we too can embrace the development of our own authentic lives. When we're exhausted, we too can reorient our lives to a form of wholehearted living, so that when the time comes for our proverbial meeting at the pearly gates, no one will ask, "Why were you not more like you?" May it be so. I dedicate our time of prayer and meditation to a blessing of the marchers, all of us who lead the way in wholehearted celebration of one another and our siblings in spirit in this world. I ask that whether you're going physically to march this morning or not, that we all consider ourselves marchers in spirit. I adapt the words of San Francisco Presbyterian pastor Sam Lundquist, whose website whimsically has the tagline, "Loves God, loves glitter." I invite you into a time of prayer and meditation. We are all children of the holy. Blessed are the sacred weird ones. Blessed are the holy and wholly different. Blessed are the ones who are too loud, too bold, too wild, too much. Blessed are gay, lesbian, and bisexual children. Blessed are trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming children. Blessed are children whom we are all learning to name, describe, and know. We are all children of the holy. Blessed are those who have come out, those who cannot, those who are still finding their way, those who feel boxed in, those who feel shackled by tradition, those who are suffocated by the roars of expectation. We are all children of the holy. Blessed are those who struggle with self-harm and self-hatred, those who strive to accept the person they see in the mirror. Blessed are those who strain each day just to survive. Blessed are those who persist, those who persevere, those who prove to the world each day that diversity is divine. We are all children of the holy. Blessed are the chosen families who have taken in the lost and forgotten. Blessed are the friends and family who have helped rewrite the stories of lives. Blessed are the allies who have loved those unable to love themselves. Blessed are those whose ancestral steps we move in, those who marched and marched and marched before us, those who have dared to dream and dared to demand justice. We are all children of the holy, every single one of us, and blessed are we as we tirelessly, courageously, imaginatively create a world where all people know and feel and have love, all sexualities, all genders, all gender expressions, all families, all bodies. Blessed are we. We are all children of the holy. Amen. I invite us to rise in body or spirit and get our march on. Now, you don't need your hymnals, and I encourage you to lock arms, hold hands, just really be together as we sing an anthem written by Holly Near in the wake of the assassination of the man known in San Francisco as the mayor of Castro Street and one of the first openly gay government officials in the country, Harvey Milk. The words we'll use are on the screens, but you don't even need them to sing the hymn. We are a gentle, angry people. Please rise and join one another in spirit. And we are singing, singing for our lives. Let's just remain standing for a moment and take a moment of silence. And breathe and get ready for the march. Okay, you may be seated. And I have the announcement to repeat again that the meeting place has changed from everything you read. It is now on Summerfield between Bond and Emory. Summerfield between Bond and Emory. I'm going to offer some sung words of benediction this morning. It was at this pulpit that I spoke first about my identity as a gay man. It was here on Pride Sunday 2 years ago that I first sang I Am What I Am, a piece that is now a central part of the concert I continue to give in New York City, that I created here with you. It was at this pulpit that I first spoke about my partner in life. This is a place where we can say who we are. because this congregation urges us to follow our dreams of being authentic in our lives. But we know sometimes life is hard to face. We march because the dreams of all have yet to become reality in a judgmental world. In 1959, Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein had written an Act One finale for The Sound of Music entitled Face Life. Hammerstein became progressively ill during preparations for the show. And on the morning of the day, he would receive a terminal cancer diagnosis. He dropped off a small napkin for Rodgers at the stage door where the musical was being rehearsed prior to opening. And on it were written words for a verse to that Act One finale. The words ended up in the second act, and the finale was retitled, "But I send you back out into the world that we bless with our authentic selves," reuniting the song with its original verse in a message I hope we'll all take with us. A bell's not a bell till you ring it. A song's not a song till you sing it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life. For as long as you live, climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. Climb every mountain, for